All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about how much Ethereum do you actually need to be able to become a millionaire with Ethereum? Meaning, how much money, how many US dollars do you need to invest over what time period to be able to earn $1 million by investing in Ethereum? So I took some pretty conservative calculations in this video. And I wanted to do this because I think I hear a lot of people really trying to invest in all of these altcoins, whether it's Solana or anything else, because in their mind, these altcoins are going to pump a lot faster than Ethereum. And that could be true, by the way. I'm not saying don't invest in altcoins, but I made some conservative projections in this video with basically two different strategies combined to show you what it would take. Because I don't think a lot of people think, to really make it with something like Ethereum or Bitcoin, you just really need to have a lot of money. And I'm going to say, like, we're going to look at $1,000. Like, how much would it take for $1,000 worth of Ethereum to become equal to $1 million or more? And again, I think you're going to be shocked in this video. Now, the reason I'm using $1,000 is because I see a lot of people making high risk investments with crypto and they're losing. So they'll go into some sort of short term platform because some YouTubers did really well with it, or they'll go into some altcoin or some meme coin because they hear somebody 10xing or earning 10x or 100x overnight, and they're constantly playing the lottery. The problem is people are not valuing enough the dollars that are lost. Listen, it's much more important that you make consistent wins than that you make wins and losses, because you're affecting your overall return far drastically, and you're missing out on the ability to be able to compound. Now, let me just show you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about here. And again, this is oversimplified. This is not financial advice. It's just I'm using this just to make a point because I don't think people are aware of it. So, and I still try to be somewhat conservative. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. The point I want to make here is that the ability to be able to earn large sums of money with a small investment is still extraordinarily possible over a relatively short time period. Most people are like, if I put $1,000 in Ethereum, it's going to take it 20 years to get to $1 million or longer. And I think you're going to be shocked that it's nowhere near that because of essentially compound interest. So first of all, what we want to do, and I told you we're going to cover two different strategies. The first strategy is we're going to look at what has been the average return that Ethereum has earned annually over the past several years. So if you come here, the mean annual return has been 194%. We're not going to go that high though. This is the mean annual return of 194%. What we're going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I found this annual return graph or table. And what I did to be conservative is I removed the two biggest years as basically big outliers. 756%, 9,000% returns. I pulled those out. So we're going to focus on the 24%, the 82%, the 2% down, the 469% up, 399 up, 67 down, 90 up. And what I did was I just took like an average of those numbers. Like what is the average rate of return? If you do the math on that, by the way, I can tell you it's about 118% annual return on average. That's an average rate of return. Now, again, there's another strategy here that's going to put this on steroids. But if you just come over here to a compound interest calculator and you're like, hey, we're not going to put in 194, 184, we're going to put in 118. 118% return with $1,000, nothing else invested. In just 1 year, you can calculate that. It's $3,000 because you're going to have the original 1,000 plus you're going to earn $2,000 additionally. So that gets you to 3,000. But what about 2 years? Now we've got 3,000 earning 118%. We'll calculate that. That's 9,000. Now we're going to calculate that. 3 years. This is yearly interest, nothing else added. This is just owning $1,000. Now again, you can do this even faster. We can go to 4 years, calculate, and you can see, like, you can come down here and kind of see, put in monthly, and you can kind of see how the numbers are affected. Let's go to 5 years, calculate, and then 6 years, calculate. 7 is going to take us way over. Let's go 6.5. 6.5. Where does that get us? That's $1.5 million. I mean, in most places you can pay taxes on that and still net $1 million if you're at a 30% interest rate. But just for giggles, we're at $1.5 million. The compounded rate of return was 208%. That's because you're not withdrawing anything. And this just requires you not having a losing year. Don't take your, Ethereum out, try to put in some altcoin, and then, strike out on that investment. That's going to hurt your overall returns and take you a lot longer. But you can do this even faster. This is 6.5 years, not 20 years, by the way, not 30 years. This is 6.5 years. And of course, I'm not accounting for taxes, but I'm also, it is possible Ethereum could do more than 118% in a year. But particularly depending on when you get started, when you make that purchase, if you're purchasing, down towards the bottom of the market. But you can add about almost 20% to this return, 15% conservatively, just by using something like Derive, which is a newer platform. Originally it was Lyra, but the Derive platform, their earn function. If you go to their earn function, now I trade options on Derive, but I trade options on there primarily. But if you come here to their earn function and you go into their wrapped stake ETH pool, and this is the one I'm using, for example, again, not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to add this to the projection here in a moment. Listen, I'm earning 17% APY on Ethereum. Essentially what happens here, just so you know, is you earn USDC, and then at the end of the week, they take the USDC and they buy more Ethereum, and your position just ultimately gets compounded. So I'm earning Ethereum, 17% APY on Ethereum, plus I'm earning the staking rewards of 2.78%. Now this goes up and down. This has been as high as 20%, 20+%, and this has been as high as 3% plus. So it goes up and down. And then, by the way, in this calculation, I'm not counting the DRV points, which is coming towards their airdrop that's going to be happening here in a couple of months. I'm not talking about the swell points, which is likely to be an airdrop. I'm not talking about the eigenlayer points. These are 3 different airdrops that you're qualifying for essentially at the same time. I'm not even calculating this into the overall return because these airdrops will happen and then it will be done. If you want to, by the way, get started with the earn feature, I'll put a link in the description. However, here's the key. 17% return plus 2% return. Now you're at what, 19% return? Let's just be conservative. Again, let's do a 15%. Let's go back to our calculator. So 15% here would be what, 133? No, 123, right? No, 133. That's right. 133% annually. So let's just take a look at where we'd be at 1 year. Calculate. So we can just skip this ahead. 3 years, we would have 43,000. And in 5 years, let's see, 5.5. There's $1 million, 5.5 years. That's not forever. Now, of course, this is assuming that Ethereum continues to go up at an average of 133%. Now, let's just say that Ethereum, for whatever reason, does have this. It only goes up an average of 70% a year, meaning it doesn't have any single year that it doubles, which I honestly think is likely that we're going to have at least another year or two where Ethereum doubles, at the very least, most conservative estimates. The reason I say that is because we've already had all-time highs at 4,000. We're at, what, 2,400 today. It's possible we could see $2,000 Ethereum. Again, $2,000 Ethereum going up to 4,000 is a double, essentially. So that's really possible, in my personal opinion. But if we're doing 70% only, we have $1,000 investment. Where are we at? And that's assuming that you're not adding anything else. Now let's do 10 years. That gets you to 900,000. 11 years. That's 1.7 million. Listen, what's important to understand is just by holding on to Ethereum, making certain you put it in a HODL wallet, making certain that you have it where you're not going to spend it, you're not going to use it. If you use something like Derive, it's fine. There is some risk. I'm not telling you that you should do this with all of your Ethereum. I just use that as an example to be able to earn some extra returns. And I use this personally, by the way. For some of I currently have I put in $1,000 down to about 600. But after doing this, I'm like, I need to add me another 1,000 or two. By the end of the year, I hope to have somewhere between $4,000 or $5,000 in Ethereum just sitting here, earning it. And here's the thing: everything moves faster when the numbers go up. Let's say you have $5,000 of Ethereum. You're going to get here far faster. 5 years, let's do 3 years. And this is assuming only a 70%, not 118%. Let's do 5 years. Let's do, yep, 8. There we go, 8 years. So you save yourself a significant amount of time. And again, that's assuming a 70% return overall. And this is the thing, like, this doesn't even include the fact that I can then borrow against that and still earn a rate of return. And that's a whole other video for another time. But literally with $1,000, if we see Ethereum continue to do what it's been doing, conservative projections, we should be able to earn $1 million sometime within 5 to 10 years if those projections hold true. And here's what I know. Even if we don't see these kind of returns, even if it does take 15 or 20 years to get to $1 million, please keep in mind, if you cannot see Ethereum getting to $30, $40, $50,000, there's a whole bunch of people when Ethereum was $30 and $40 that could have never seen it getting to 100. They definitely could have never seen Ethereum get to $1,000. So I understand we've never got to those prices before, but it doesn't mean we can't get there. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen. But no matter what, where else are you going to invest $1,000, $2,000? What if you only end up with $200,000 or $300,000? Where else are you going to be able to? I mean, I know of no other investment outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum that gives us the most likelihood of being able to do a 10x and maybe, just maybe in certain cases, 50x or 100x. But I know of no other investment. Like if you were to put a gun to my head and say, hey, give me the investment that is most likely to 10x from where it's at right now, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, Bitcoin's easy. Just for Bitcoin to ultimately become true digital gold, which I think is going to happen over the next several decades at minimum, personally. Again, not financial advice. This is my personal opinion. I'm a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I'm biased to the upside. But if you ask me that, then I think it's very obvious that Bitcoin, just to replace the price of gold, Bitcoin's got to be somewhere between $500,000 to $600,000 per Bitcoin. Per Bitcoin. That's pretty close to a 10x. If it ever became the world's currency, now you're talking about doing like 20, 25x from current prices based on the current money supply and not accounting for inflation at all. And then Ethereum, likewise, depending on what happens with Ethereum in the long term, there is a real possibility that Ethereum does a 10x as well, 10x, 20x, or more. So, by the way, what's interesting about earning yield on Ethereum is you're basically earning more Ethereum. In this scenario here, most of our gains come from price appreciation of Ethereum. But when you talk about using Derive, the interesting thing about Derive and the liquid staking platform, they're using their option strategy to earn 8 to 30% per year. And we have been on the low side of this around 13, 15, 17% APY. And then actually, this is the one I use because I get these bigger multipliers. But then on top of that, you're earning the liquid staking 2.78%. This is straight ETH coming back to you. This is USD that they use in the contract to automatically buy ETH and add to your stack. So you're basically compounding Ethereum on top of Ethereum on top of Ethereum, at the same time able to benefit from price appreciation. And because you're not selling in most jurisdictions, you're saving a boatload on taxes, because you're not selling the core holdings. And when you do pay taxes, you're going to pay long-term capital gains. Ladies and gentlemen, crypto is incredible. It is absolutely freaking incredible. And I've had multiple, as I'm traveling through Europe right now, I've had several people ask me questions about crypto. Should I invest in crypto? Should I do this in crypto? What do you think about this in crypto? What do you think about that in crypto? And here's what I tell people. My underlying thesis is long-term bullish no matter what. I believe this technology changes the financial world. I believe the primary purpose of Ethereum is to create an economic freedom for individuals where they have control of their finances and they don't rely on a bank or government to tell them what to do. If you believe in that underlying thesis, then yes, you can mine Bitcoin, you can buy Bitcoin. It doesn't necessarily matter what the current price is because that's where it's going long term. But if you are looking for a lottery ticket, which is what a lot of people are doing when they're playing the altcoin game, for example, if you're looking for the lottery ticket or the next meme token, then it's just a risk. It's just a straight up sheer speculation. I mean, you might as well gamble, I guess. So with that being said, I tell people, what is your underlying thesis? If you're asking me to give you the next hot investment, then I don't feel comfortable even sharing my commentary with you. But if you're asking me why I think it's going to go up, I can talk about that all day. If you say to me, hey, I think it's going to go up, do you think I should buy it? Then yeah, what is your underlying thesis? If you believe the technology is ultimately going to be the backbone of the financial industry, then we all win no matter what, at least those of us who are brave enough or willing to buy crypto and willing to hold through the dips and be wise with our finances. Ladies and gentlemen, I could keep going. I love this stuff. I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts down in the comments? And by the way, if you agree with me, if you believe this technology is going to change the world, do me a favor and smash that like button. I'm going to do another video talking about Derive and their branding and rebranding. I'll be posting that soon on the channel. If you want to watch that video, do me a favor and smash the like button. I'll talk more about their yield project, or the earn project. It used to be called yield, the earn project, and how to get started with it and what I'm doing with it. And again, and sort of my strategy, because I do have a strategy on how I'm continuing to buy more Ethereum every couple of months or so. And I'll share exactly how I'm doing that. My whole goal was to buy Ethereum below average prices. And stack it over time consistently. And if you want to see that video, do me a favor and be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and click all. That will probably be my very next video. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.